So you just finished together and you're staring at your screen thinking, did I just watch a romantic comedy or the creepiest cult recruitment video of the year? Either way, your brain probably needs a minute. Because what starts as a quirky relationship dramedy turns into The Fly meets Midsommar. And by the end, Alison Brie and Dave Franco have literally become one. Let's break down that finale, the real meaning behind the fusion, and why that ending might be way darker than it first appears. Together ends with Tim and Millie returning home and narrowly escaping a literal flesh-melting fate. After Millie is injured escaping the unsettling culty neighbor Jamie, who we learn is actually two people fused into one, Tim decides to save her the only way he knows how, by fusing himself to her, willingly. With full knowledge that this romantic gesture will erase both of their individual identities. Millie wakes up, arms now bonded Tim, and instead of recoiling in horror, she embraces it. Spice Girls' two become one swells, and yeah, that actually happens. It's weird, it's sweet, it's horrifying. The final shot shows Millie's parents arriving at the house only to be greeted by Tilly, an androgynous fusion of their daughter and her boyfriend. Oh, and there's a cult bell on the porch now. So what just happened? On the surface, it feels romantic. Tim sacrifices himself, Millie accepts him. They're finally together in the most literal sense. Director Michael Shank even called the ending loving and hopeful. But let's be real, this is body horror with a brain. It's not just about two lovers becoming one. It's about codependency, about losing your identity in long-term relationships, and how sacrificing for love can cross the line into terrifying territory. When Tim and Millie choose fusion, they choose love, but also choosing to stop being individuals. That can be both beautiful and absolutely tragic. But there's a darker layer. The cult won. Remember Jamie? It turns out he's a walking product of that weird underground ritual. And his entire arc is about converting Tim and Millie to his way of thinking. And he succeeds. The bell on Tilly's door at the end isn't decoration, it's indoctrination. The cave, the substance, the transformation, none of it is explained too deeply, and that's the point. This is less about how and more about why. The cult doesn't need members, it needs believers. And in the final frame, the fused version of Tim and Millie looks calm, happy, and completely lost in the ideology. At its core, Together is a metaphor about how relationships can be comforting but suffocating, about how love can heal or consume. And it asks a brutal question. Would you give up your entire identity just to stay close to the person that you love? For some, the answer is yes. For others, the ending is a total nightmare. Either way, Together doesn't offer easy answers. It offers haunting ones. Tim and Millie didn't lose to a monster. They chose this willingly. That makes it scarier. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful subtextual interpretations of Together. The final reveal of Tilly, the fully fused androgynous version of Tim and Millie. Answering the door for Millie's parents, it's weird, it's tender, and it feels like a moment charged with something more. Could it be a metaphor for coming out, especially as non-binary, queer, or trans? Let's break it down. Millie and Tim's transformation obliterates traditional gender binaries. They don't become him or her, they become something entirely new. One fused, fluid being. Their identity no longer fits in neat societal boxes. Her parents arrive. A classic setup for a coming out moment. And what greets them? A visual representation of difference. Not something tragic or monstrous, but whole, if unsettling to those on the outside. The presence of the cult symbol on the porch could even represent how society often sees gender nonconformity as being under the influence of a movement or ideology. From the outside, it looks like indoctrination. From the inside, it's just being true to yourself. And while Tilly seems at peace and the parents are left to react, that moment mirrors the anxiety and ambiguity of many LGBTQ plus people when they reveal their true selves to family. Will they accept me, or will they see me as something alien? Whether this reading is intentional or not, it adds incredible depth to the film's body horror metaphor. Transformation as liberation, but also as loss. Together becomes a film not just about love, but identity, how we're shaped by it, and how scary it can be to show the people closest to us who we really are. But what do you think? Was the ending romantic, horrifying, both? Drop your thoughts below. Would you fuse with your partner to save them? Hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon. And the bell is not a cult reference, not intended anyway. Or maybe they are. For more mind-bending movie breakdown, stick with the Atomic Cult Media. I'll see you later. Bye.